Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Onward VR Master League cast. We have the first of the many to come Button Cup matchups between US versus EU opponents. Today I have with me my good friend and co-caster Noman from the team Blaze. He's sitting in our co-caster's chair today. Noman, how you doing today?
Pretty good, Sleepy. Thanks for having me here. I'm excited to get into this stuff. I'm excited for this series to kick off. See who the see who the better side is, North America or EU. Pretty stoked.
Absolutely. Just waiting on our bands to come in. Noman, could I ask you to send those to me again? I know you told me.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me send those over right now.
All right, so we do have our bands. Let's take a look here in the war room. We have one. It's going to be the band from which team was it again there, Noman?
That would be the Vikings are banning quarantine.
Hey, Vikings banning Quarantine, and the Great Apes have chosen to ban Anchor.
That's correct.
And we do know the first of our 3 maps of the series, so this first map is actually going to be Cargo, so should get us going pretty well. Lots of tight quarters action, and here shortly we'll be seeing shorter time limits on it as well, which is really going to press our teams. What do you think about that, Noman?
I think it's going to make some interesting changes in gameplay. I'm definitely for the time change. I think that changing up strats and making the game feel a little bit more high stakes like that has a lot of benefits. Definitely, we've seen a lot of cargo rounds that go, in my opinion, a little too long. So I think it's going to be a great change. I'm excited to see what some of the teams do to adjust for it, and hopefully we'll be seeing that in the next week or two.
While we wait on our teams to start here, waiting on a couple more members to get in the lobby. So while we do, why don't we all take a quick look at what Cargo has to offer? Argo, a tight quarters map filled with various colored shipping containers by a mysterious Downpour Industries. Wondering who those weird guys are. Anyways, lots of cover to move between while keeping it short and sweet. A lot of fast action coming out here on the map. We're hoping to see some good, intense rounds here to start us off. You know, some teams though can play it slow, and the slow and effective works as well. What's your take on it? What do you prefer, Noma? Yes, now if only we could get all of our members in to the map. I'm actually very confused. The Great Apes are on the Marsoc side. Did Vikings choose to pick side and not map? I was just making sure I wasn't given bad information, and Great Apes are home. Like to keep the scoreboard correct, but all right. Go ahead, Noman. Yeah, don't we all? Vikings all showed up and ready to go. Great Apes still waiting on one. Of course, the EU, it is now actually probably 8, 9 p.m. in the evening, so they're all done with their day. They're relaxing at home. Meanwhile, the guys over here in the States, it's 12 p.m. on a Saturday. Some of them are probably still waking up from a hard night last night. So, speaking of the new update, how do you like that new update, Noman? I didn't get a chance to play it last night. I was really tired from a long day at work, so I didn't hop on last night when the update dropped. What's your opinion on the Subway update? Sure, sure.
Points, the many different choke points that have been introduced, I think are going to make for some extremely exciting plays. I can't wait to see the kind of flanks people pull off. I think it's going to start rivaling some of the other faster maps for picks for teams. Even I think Cargo might even be threatened by it as a quick pick. So I'm really excited specifically for that map. But everything else in the update so far has been wonderful. The new UI is great. The new game mode in what is it, Spec Ops is fantastic. A great Halloween event. Um, Lots of really exciting stuff. Definitely encourage everyone to check it out if you haven't already.
Absolutely. That all sounds fantastic, and I am most interested in the ability to add two or multiple attachments on the front of your weapon. You know, say a foregrip and a suppressor both, rather than having to choose between a foregrip and a suppressor. You now get
Yeah,
the option to choose both.
I feel like you're spying on my loadouts. I've already made one of those loadouts, and I plan to test it in one of our games this week, or a scrim or something. It seems pretty powerful, especially when you consider that drum sharing is still a thing. So a suppressor, a foregrip, and 80 rounds definitely can be a huge difference. I'm excited to see what happens with that.
Yeah, yeah, that drum mag swapping, especially on the Marsoc side where it's a lot more interchangeable. You know, as you can give that drum mag to more of your teammates using the SA-80 and just your standard kind of M4 variant weaponry.
Yeah, definitely. There's some pretty exciting stuff you can do with that, and I know a lot of teams are starting to do it a lot more often. I know my team is one of the big ones on making sure everybody's got enough bullets for the round. So
Yeah, and me, I actually like to play that SA-80 role, so I'm automatically giving away all my extra magazines. I'm like, you know what? If I make it through this round with these, 100 bullets that I have, I've got too many bullets. Like, I either should have been dead from attacking and going in, or I should have had enough and hit my shots accurately enough to where I don't even need the full first mag that I have.
yeah, exactly. And usually the if you've got good friendly teammates, they'll try to give you their mag from their gun just so you have something to reload too. And I usually my say on that is if I still need to reload with this many bullets, I'm not doing it right. There's only 5 of them. There's 80 bullets in here. I feel like we can make one clip work. All right, we're still looks like waiting on just one more on the Great Ape side. See if we can reach out to them.
Yeah, I've been reaching out to Irish trying to see who we were waiting on, but I haven't gotten any response back on that.
Yeah, we'll have to let them know they're getting close to their 20-minute buffer. There is for those who don't know, 20-minute buffer at the start of the game for teams to get ready, get everybody in, to make sure you've got the minimum amount of players. If they don't make that 20-minute buffer, the team that is lagging behind does lose that round, and it will continue to do so until they get everybody in. So hopefully we don't see that happen here.
For those of you tuning in just now, we are waiting on the start of our game here, which will be the first game of the EU versus US Button Cup. Don't know if this is going to become a seasonal event, but it's looking that way. And here we have the first game, still in the pre-round lobby in the tent, waiting on one of the Great Apes members. But you're here with Sleepy and his new co-casting pal Noman on Onward Master League 1. So what? Let's talk about it. Who's your pick in today's game? I don't know much about Vikings personally, and the Great Apes. Obviously I know them quite well. So I don't. I want to hear from an objective point of view.
Yeah, I've definitely we've played the Great Apes a lot as we've been coming up in the league. Team Blaze has played them many, many times. They're a great group of dudes. So much fun to play with. Always down to scrim or to challenge whenever needed. They've been putting a lot of hours in. I have seen some of the Vikings games. They're definitely a strong team. There's some potential there. I haven't seen a whole lot of their most recent strategies, but I'm thinking that it's going to be a pretty tight game. But if I don't catch Buxton's curse, I'm going to actually give it to the Great Apes this time. I'm going to give it to them. I think they're going to be able to pull it out, but I'm hoping it'll be tight. That's my prediction.
Yeah, and see, I don't want to not give Vikings any credit. It's just I have no idea their play style and their method of play. So that's my only issue with being able to call them as the victors of this match. But either way, I do think we'll see a very tight matchup nonetheless.
I sure hope so. I sure hope so. And I think that when two different regions come together like this, it's even harder to judge. You really never know. The playstyles are so different between EU teams and NA teams. Namely, EU teams really liking to be more slow and methodical. Checking their corners, clearing rooms. Whereas NA teams tend to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more push heavy, and it's always interesting when they clash, how they try to counter the other team's play. That I was talking about a little bit earlier. I'm hoping that the Great Apes will choose to start the round down a man, if nothing else, so as to save themselves a round loss. But I think we're still working to confirm if that's going to be the case or not. So thank you for bearing with us. Hopefully, we'll get into the action real soon. All right, so it looks like we are having a little bit of issues with Sleepy's headset. He'll be back with us shortly. I'm going to be keeping you guys nice and warm and entertained while we wait for the Great Apes to find their last man and move into the first round of this first map in the button. Glad we're doing cargo instead, but hopefully we'll be seeing a nice mix. I think a good cast usually is consistent of a small map, a medium map, and a large map. I think that's my personal preference for how games are played. I think after a little while you kind of get tired if you play 3 large maps in a row. Definitely definitely a little bit draining on you to, have to worry about long shots, worry about your crosses, really worrying about your equipment and stuff. Some of these short maps, they just go by so quickly, and I think they lend themselves to a lot more fun and simplicity. Um, and I'm hoping that we see a little bit of that variety today in the Button Cup. I think Sleepy's going to be joining us here in a little bit. We're still trying to track down what's going on with the Great Apes players. They are at the 20-minute buffer right now, and I would hate to have to assign a round loss to them as a result, so I'm hoping they can kick it off, even if they have to be a man down. To eke out a round. I think we've all seen matches where, um, 4-on-5s or 3-on-5s have turned the tables quickly, equalized, and then were able to take round wins away from a team that would have numbers advantage. So hopefully we'll be seeing them pretty soon. And again, I'd like to remind everybody there was a wonderful update to Onward last night. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, we'd mentioned it a little bit earlier. One of the things I definitely encourage you guys to try is the Spec Ops mode, which is like a fun take on sort of a zombies-esque mode you can play with your friends. We spent a good chunk of time last night scaring each other with a couple of our teammates, and it's definitely gonna make for a fun Halloween event. And in this caster's opinion, I'm hoping that it's popular enough that they keep it as a permanent game mode. I think that would be really very exciting. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, please do. Um, Hopefully there will be some streamers. I know I personally will be streaming it a little bit this week, so very exciting stuff. And I think we're overrunning our buffer by quite a bit, and I still don't think we have any information about the holdup. I think we're still waiting to see what the Vikings, I'm sorry, what the Great Apes are waiting for. Again, those of you just tuning in, we're still waiting for the Great Apes to find their last member and or ready up their 4 members that they do have available and start round in the first game, a lot of firsts today, of the Button Cup, which is the VR Onward Master League Special Cup. It is the challenge games between the EU teams and the NA teams, and basically looking to test some matchups that are not very common in regular league play. Obviously, because of time zone adjustments and people's schedules, it's tricky to schedule those. But these teams have volunteered their evenings or their mornings to get some more light in that area, and I'm excited to see the types of games we get out of it. It's definitely going to be really exciting once we can get it underway. I think we're just waiting on one more. Thank you for bearing with us, guys. Looks like there's all kinds of issues this morning with headphones and headsets and lobbies. Obviously, every time there's an update to Onward, there can be the possibility of some bugs or some technical glitches. I've personally experienced some myself. I'm sure the people in the Twitch chat are not entirely without experience as well. And hopefully that's just what we're seeing here. The game's running a little bit behind, so we're just hoping to give everybody a little bit of time to get things right. And we'll try to get underway here as quickly and as smoothly as possible. But like we said, this is there's a lot of things coming together all at once. This is if you guys are just tuning in for the first time ever, or for the first time this week. This is my first casting run in the VR Master League. I want to give a shout out to the league casters and the league moderators for giving me this opportunity. I'm really excited to bring you guys this action as frequently as possible. I know is that we don't cast enough games. There's too many teams. There's too many games. We don't have enough resources to make sure everybody gets a chance in the spotlight. I think everybody does deserve to be in the spotlight. I think lots of games have great plays that deserve to be highlighted. And I'm very lucky and very excited to be able to start bringing you some of that action whenever possible. I'm hoping that I'm not the last one. I definitely have seen a few people joining the casters group along with me. I think that if you're interested in this kind of work, it definitely is work, but it is fun work. And as I like to say, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, please definitely reach out to the league moderators and the league casting group in the Onward Discord. Have a lot of fun with it, and come join us. Come join us on these casts. These can be a lot of fun. And I think we're going to be checking in here and seeing if we're ready to start. I think we're still having some technical issues on Sleepy's side, but he's going to work through that as quickly as possible. In the meantime, I am reading your chats. You guys are great. Thank you guys for sticking around while we're trying to figure out this whole first game mess. I think it's an intricate test put together. Just to test how good I can be in my first co-cast. I think there we go. Yeah, there we go. Sleepy's back on the microphone. Hey, Sleepy, how you doing?
Unfortunate, my headset decided it wanted to do a software update in the middle of our cast together. So I apologize to everyone out there watching for that, and I apologize to Noman for making him have to talk for 20 minutes straight while I work that out behind the scenes. Yeah, it's a very unfortunate. I think we actually have a bit of a situation going on where the team captains appear to be in a chat with moderators, so it seems there may be an issue with the timing, and the Great Apes could be in trouble of having to possibly forfeit or go play 5v4 or with the reservist, which not ideal.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they wouldn't have just started with 4 rather than take the entire round loss. I'm sure the Great Apes are aware of the rules. They've been in the league long enough. It seems like, if you're down a man, you take the hit for a round or two, try to get that person in, and try to do what you can. Sometimes having 4 people is an advantage. Less of you on the map to die. It's something that I'm kind of shocked that there's even discussion about, but.
I'm wondering if the player on the Great Apes that's not been able to make it yet, if that was Lightsteed. He is an Australian player playing for a team that's pretty much based out of the US East, even though they do have a few West Coasters as well. So wondering if they're having trouble getting him out of bed from the future.
Oh, I see. It looks like from the Twitch chat, there's some discussion about it, and it looks like that member is likely having issues rolling back his update from last night, the update I'd mentioned earlier. I think it might be that technical issue that I was talking about. No one is immune from that. I definitely feel for that player, and I feel for the team. On more than one occasion, I've cost our team a player because I was having technical issues. Either as a result of an update or sometimes it's not even an Onward update. Sometimes Microsoft decides to rear its ugly head and cause some issues. So I definitely feel for them there. Hopefully we can iron this out and get this game underway as quickly as possible for you guys.
Absolutely. And another thing we can do is we can take a look at some of the home team's stats, or where they are, at least rankings wise. It looks worldwide, the Vikings are ranked 25th. They've got an 8-game season so far with a 4-win, 4-loss ratio. They're sitting at around 1190 on the MMR ranking, and Great Apes just a few spots down from them in 28th worldwide. 6 games, 3-3 win-loss, 41 overall points with 1180. So only 10-point MMR difference here in this game. So we should see what would be an interesting and amazing matchup.
Yeah, definitely. I think that that those kinds of standings until the season's over, it's not entirely indicative of a team's performance. No matter how low or high you are, you can have bad days, you can have good days, and I think that that's definitely going to be a good matchup. Like I'd said earlier, the different play styles become a factor as well because, like I said, EU teams typically play a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical, and NAU teams are a little bit more aggressive, and that has a lot to do with how these games can turn out. So I think we're gonna see something really exciting here, and I'm hoping it kicks off relatively soon once we've got that technical issue figured out.
Yeah, and man, this is. I mean, I've heard of killing airtime, but we are going on almost half an hour now, and you going on probably that whole half an hour since I up and left you in the middle and left you to just talk to yourself for 20 minutes.
Well, I am convinced it's an elaborate plot and test, and now you've proven me right, Sleepy. That's it makes me feel good that I'm right about something, on my first cast. So.
Hey, but you're doing a good job. Oh, don't
Well,
worry about it. We're gonna
I
put you through the
appreciate it.
grinder, but yeah.
I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun for me. Naturally, for those of you that know me or on my team or have played with me, you know that I can fill dead air like no other. So not a problem at all. I'm glad everybody's been sticking around to listen to my voice. It's says more than words can. So we appreciate you guys all sticking around in chat and being cool about this. We definitely want to bring you the action as soon as possible. But for now, it's the Sleepy and Noman talk show with with guest stars is I think what we'll be having.
I think we should have guest stars on the next program, Noman. We're gonna bring in some players.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Do a little bit of pre-round interviews. I'm surprised we don't already do, but I know we're usually pressed for time when these games
Yeah,
are scheduled anyway.
yeah. Normally, at least in the last few weeks, we've actually had some issues getting set up and ready to run in time by the time the teams have taken out through the gates and are racing towards their first map. But
Yeah.
now it's quite the opposite. It's like they're putting us in the chokehold, trying to hold us back from getting going. And I
Well,
really,
it's Murphy's law, definitely. Everything that can go wrong will, and you know, when you have this many changes happen, when you have a new cup with different schedules for different teams as well as an update, you know, there's something had to go wrong. It can't go perfect the first time.
That's very true.
I think we're going to see it smooth out over the next couple of days and weeks as we get this cup resolved. It does look like we are going to be kicking off the first round. I did hear the timer kick off.
As did I, so we are going to cut in on the action. Coming in with round 1 of match 1. Sounds like Vikings were getting a little impatient, which I can completely understand. I mean, 30 minutes to have to wait after original match start time. When you were ready to go with the button cup pistol duel for home away decisions, I'm sure that's pretty rough on you.
Yeah, definitely. And I've seen an early smoke come out from the Great Apes, looking to obfuscate some of the view of the defenders as they move up. Irish Gorilla taking a really aggressive stance there on the tunnel side, hoping to get a pick.
I think the Great Apes are going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage. Snooperfax taking some suppressive fire, but he's going to stay up. Great Apes are going to have to climb a little bit of a hill here as they're going to face the Vikings 4-5 now. They have, and now 3-5 as Snooperfax does get picked up by Mantis here on the western side of the map, or I'm sorry, eastern side of the map.
And what a great shot it was. Those barrels are definitely difficult to see behind. It looks like he shot him through a very small crack. What an excellent shot by Mantis that was. And I think that definitely on this, in my opinion, this Marsoc side, you definitely want to be a little bit more aggressive because once the defense has a chance to set and you can't hear them moving,
you're in trouble.
You can definitely get in trouble, absolutely.
Irish Gorilla, though, able to find one. He's immediately repicked.
That patience from Spoilty, though, what a great trigger discipline that was to not hop up around and give himself away.
Oh, and Purple Highway with a nice airburst grenade ends up picking up Pink Fluffy Gecko.
What was the latest from Tyler?
Still down, but looks like he might be revived here by Mantis, and he indeed is.
What is he?
And we're back to a 4v2.
And we'll move away from that player, ladies and gentlemen, as it does appear that the spectating bug where we can hear players who are dead and in the lobby on your audio. So just to let you know, that is not Irish Gorilla speaking in-game. Spoilty cannot hear this bug where the spectators can hear the comms after players have died when we're near their bodies.
Yeah, and I'm surprised to see this this sort of slow Marsoc play. This is definitely one of the things that when we were talking about round timers, that I think is going to change a lot in the coming weeks. You know, these Marsoc players are definitely waiting for an aggressive pick, and it doesn't look like it's going to come. And sometimes these rounds can go a little long when people can get stuck in looking for something that may never come. So this is one of those things that I'd like to highlight as a coming improvement, I believe, in the coming games. It looks like we're going to be seeing some Marsoc push here very shortly. But the Volk defense is pretty tight on that center. There's definitely not an easy ingress there. Maybe on the far east side, if Taokao would rotate all the way around, he could likely pick up Mantis and Spoilty all at once. But obviously, we have spectator cam. He does not know that.
Of course. And Mantis is going to hear the heavy breathing on Taokao sneak his way in. That was a great little thing. The Taokao didn't even hear that come in. So great play there by Mantis. Taokao's breathing, unfortunately, I think giving himself away, as that's what I kind of picked up on when I moved the camera.
Yeah, definitely. I could hear that from quite a bit away, even in the spectator cams. Mantis taking some shots out into the void there, not finding anything. And Purple Highway will know where at least he is, but will he be able to find Spoilty in his little nook here on the west side?
Sounded like Spoilty might have laughed or maybe coughed or something. Ah, it stinks. I want to be able to sit here and cover this action, but I also don't want to give everyone a link into the...
Purple needs to just camp in this fucking place.
Yeah, so we're gonna move off that area so we don't have to hear the Great Apes comms in the lobby. I'd hate for them to give something away while we're watching and they don't know we can hear them.
Yeah, that would be definitely unfortunate. Hopefully that's something that
And for everyone in the
needs to fix.
stream, you can please check the bottom left of my screen where you will see both Team 1 and Team 2's chat comms are all the way down. I don't want
Yeah.
anyone to assume that we've left comms on and we're peering into other people's teams. We do not do that here at VRML.
Correct, and even as a co-caster here, I am recording locally. None of that is being recorded. I'm staying away from comms as well. We're uh, definitely staying true and fair to every team as much as we can.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's one thing that I actually really like about casting. It lets you get in kind of tight with all the teams. You get to just really branch out, talk to all the guys, see their opinions. You get to see all the different strategies from a great angle, and it's just amazing to watch just for entertainment purposes, not even as a player, but you know, these matches being really, really tight. Purple down to 30 seconds. Spoilty gonna pick him up, and we finally can head off this first map, or this first round. Vikings taking the win.
Yeah, and Spoilty's patience there is a testament to the kind of patience that's required in some of these matches to be able to sit there, hold your gun up, wait for that person to come through, not moving around, not making noise. That's a skill just like any other in this game, and it's very impressive.
That it is, and Mantis and Spoilty going to carry their team to victory in this first round as they are both picking up the 2 kills necessary to get the 4 Great Apes who are trying to put something together here.
Definitely. I just checked my cast, and I was casting a scoreboard that time, so couldn't even catch game audio if I wanted to. I'll try to resolve that going forward. See, it's not limited to technical issues on everybody else's side. I get to have a few of my own at the same time.
Not ready asking in the chat if he can be one of our future special guests.
Oh, he's a special person, that's for sure. He could definitely be our special guest anytime he likes.
I will gotta say I appreciate his sarcasm with his username in game as he's changed it from his not ready spelled with symbols to not ready for symbols, as the casting UI was not able to keep up with the cryptological symbology that was not ready's name.
Yeah, that was definitely I think that was the second or third iteration name he had tried, so I'm glad he settled on something with, with no swear words in it at the very least. All right, I think we're going to be jumping into round 2 here.
Yes, we are going to jump into round 2 of map 1.
All right. And let's see what the Great Apes can do here with the 4-man defense. Like I said, sometimes having less people can be an advantage. It's one less person that can give a position away or make a mistake. So hoping they can pull this bulk round out and take us to a 1-1 score.
As the team's pushed into position, let's take a look at the overhead map. Somewhat decent wedge formation set up from the Vikings. It's kind of more of a pitchfork-looking item now. Defense, though, they're spread pretty far out from the objective. If these picks come off, they could actually manage to get themselves onto the objective, and Fluffy Gecko's going to do just that. He's going to pick up Snooper Packs first in the middle.
Attacks picking up tack. Oh, wow. And such great movement on this Marsoc push. Great coordination. They're spread out evenly across this map. They're moving as a unit. This is the kind of stuff we love to see in these casts.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, while some will... Wow.
So much action there in just a couple of seconds, and the Vikings are able to decimate the Great Apes defense fairly quickly. That was kind of a shock to me.
As it was to me. Man, that round going pretty quickly there once things started popping off. Vikings picking up another one and going up 2-0 on this first map, and obviously we can't give Vikings the total credit. I mean, yes, they are playing a great game. Unfortunately, though, it is a tough uphill battle when you decide to play 4-man versus 5 in this highly competitive virtual reality esport.
Definitely. And there's something to be said for it's not really just being a man down. Sometimes it's the morale issue of not having everybody on your team, not having
Yeah.
that ability to rebound from that kind of a disadvantage. That's a big factor in it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Your team either goes in playing a little defeated already, or they pull back because their strategies are based on 5 men, and they need this guy for something to work. So they pull back. They play a little bit more reserved because they don't have the strength that they should. Yeah, that having those 5 team members is super critical in this game, and so hopefully the Great Apes can get their 5th in here before it's too late, and the first game of the Button Cup is taken to the EU side.
Absolutely. I think I've seen and or heard of teams, running practices for 4-man teams or 3-man teams and trying to find a way to adjust in case they're down. So something to be said for keeping that in mind for the eventualities.
All right, and here we are. You're just tuning in. It is round 3 of map 1 in the first of many Button Cup games that we will be covering. This is the US versus EU kind of community cup. And this is the first game that we're bringing you. Great Apes playing down a man. They're also down 2 points, and they're on the attack here on Cargo.
We're going to be seeing a pretty common push here down the tunnel with 2 players. And another push on the far east side as well. A little bit split. We'll see if they're a little bit more aggressive this time around. Their first round was a little bit more laid back, a little bit more slow, and it didn't pay off for them. So I'm hoping they can pivot and adjust and get something going on this Marsoc round.
Yeah, honestly, they should be able to perform a little bit more fluidly, seeing that there's 4 of them instead of 5. It's just 1 less man to kind of have to worry about. You run 2-man fire teams and you just cover each other. I mean, Snooperfax obviously unable to cover Irish Gorilla there, as E-Tax able to shut him down exiting the tunnel. But the fluidity, the ability to quickly change should be much greater here with a 4-man squad versus a 5.
Definitely, E-Tax taking out Snooperfax in that tunnel as well. E-Tax was, and just for context, was sitting behind some boxes that are penetratable, or you can definitely shoot through them. Yeah, it's surprising that he didn't shoot through them. Snooper should likely have known that that's a common spot for defenders to take in that tunnel.
I believe he may have suppressed them. I don't believe he shot enough rounds through them in order to make the difference. But agreed. Yeah, he should have known to pre-fire heavy those boxes, as they don't have much, if any, collision.
And interesting to see here what Tao Kao is going to be able to do against this full 5-man Viking squad. Still up, all 5 members. Very impressive that they're able to hold these lines. Again, their patience is unmatched. And I think that's something that is not uncommon for an EU team. I probably shouldn't be quite as impressed. They're very methodical and they're very slow. And it's definitely playing to their advantage right now. Fluffy Gecko is moving a little bit aggressively, trying to finish off this round early. He's moving into the Marsoc spawn area now, but it's going to miss Tao Kao, as Tao Kao is tucked into a little corner on the east side of the map, waiting to get a pick of some kind.
Got 3 minutes still to go. Part of the reason why in the new update these smaller maps like Cargo will have their time reduced to 4 minutes. But he's got a lot of time to work with, so he's got some time to sit back, hope for them to come to him. But Kay has actually gone the other direction, or I'm sorry, Pink Fluffy Gecko has actually gone the wrong direction. He's on the other side of the flank, and it's not going to have worked out. So he's come back around now, as we can see on our mini-map. The guy at the very bottom, the orange arrow, who's moving back to Tao Kao. Tao Kao, is he going to see him? Yes, he does.
Wow. I was happy about that one. We can hear that.
And we do try and keep it family friendly, but of course these players going through a bit of an energy ocean, if you will, of ups and downs, so you can understand why the players may be excited, especially on the Great Apes. Talcal getting, well, one of the only 4 kills that they've been able to put up against Vikings here on this matchup. Vikings, in true European standard fashion, they are holding their positions out very patiently. Yes, I will have to agree with my co-caster Noman. I think the Europeans do a better job of being patient and holding their spots, especially if they know their coverage is on point. The more you hold it, the less you peek, the more less amount of risk you take, the better off your defensive is typically. Now there are, of course, exceptions to that rule.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm kind of curious to get into the mind of Talcao here and understand this position. I have a feeling that he may think that Volk will get aggressive and impatient and try to chase him down, but again, remember that it's an EU team. There's not a big chance that they're going to move. Spoilty showed that in the first round where he sat behind that box on the east from minute 1 to minute 5. So I'm curious what Talcao's plan here is now that we're getting close to the last minute of the round. Talcao is starting to move up a little bit, but not likely to have enough time to make a huge impact on this 1v4 situation he's in, having squandered quite a bit of time waiting for a pick that never came.
Yeah, he did. He did waste a little bit too much time there as he was waiting for the aggression from the offense. He's now going to try and just utilize his utility, but unfortunately both of those going to go on the roof. One luckily rolling off, but it isn't going to provide much cover for him as he breaks left to go west. The southern portion of the map here. He's going to meet up with Etax soon. Will Etax hear it and turn fast enough? He does. Talcal being too loud. Oh, but Etax stuck in the door. Now it's going to be on Spoilty. He's tucked around the corner. Will he get Talcal? Yes, of course he will.
Yes, he does. Yeah, absolutely. And there's 3 people with a sight line on that position. There was not a chance of him being able to capture that objective. I'm kind of surprised he had even gone for it in the beginning. And that round goes to the Vikings as well.
Yep, so far so good for the Vikings. Their 5-4 man advantage is proving to work out for them. Meanwhile, the Great Apes struggling to get their 5th in the lobby to help stand a fighting chance. It's not looking good here for them, but it'll only be map 1, so maybe if they can get off and get into a more widespread map where they're not so funneled in, they can spread out and utilize that to their advantage and actually put some points here on the board against Vikings.
Yeah, definitely. It's important to shake off that kind of a setback. If you start playing with your morale low, you're gonna have a hard time coming back. It's important to try to take every round as a new round. Every map is a new map, and hopefully the Great Apes can turn this around. As it wouldn't be the last time we'd have seen a comeback from an 0-3. So I'm hoping that we see that here on this defensive round from them.
Yeah, no, it most certainly wouldn't be the first time we've seen some 3-0 comebacks. They're starting to become quite frequent here on the VR Master League, I'd say. Yeah, I mean, competition just improving all around the board. I mean, you guys coming up from, the kind of the bottom as a new team, not necessarily due to skill level, but being a newer team in the league, having to fight your way up from that initial MMR distribution.
Yeah, it's definitely been a journey, but I think as long as you dedicate the time and you stay positive, and one of the biggest keys for our team is that we're all friends. We're teammates, but we're all friends, and I think that as friends, you got to try to support each other in these situations, and I'm hoping that's what's happening on the Great Ape side in the tent where we can't show the communication, but we'll see how they're able to hold this defensive round against this very strong Vikings first map play.
Yes, it is. Now, I will say this. We take a look at the overhead map. The Great Apes have pulled their defense back a bit tighter, but it may have come at a time too late. Vikings just have to win this round, even if they only win it by kills to get their win. And if not, even if they do give the Great Apes the round, they can sit back on their heels on defense for their final point to win the map.
Yeah, that's correct. And I'm kind of surprised, you know, on Cargo, I've kind of grown to expect a ton of grenade utilization. Of course, as I say that, a ton of grenades come out from the Marsoc side, but there's so many opportunities even for the defenders to get picks with a grenade, and we see that happening right there with Tao Kao downing Spoilty with a nice frag.
Mantis also managed to pick up Purple Highway in the middle. He's making good progress over there near Snooperfax, but Snooper should have the advantage unless flashed or fragged.
Or fragged, and what a well-thrown frag that was.
Yeah, it was. It was great. Very nice throw from, I believe that was Norse. Yes, it was. Tao Kao, though, still going to be able to hold up this. He takes down Etax. Double tap him, Tao Kao. You know you should. There we go.
All right, and we should be hearing call-outs from Snooper as well. He is down but not out, but he should be able to see these members of Marsoc moving up in the middle.
And Tao Kao does manage to use those call-outs to pick. He takes down Fluffy Gecko. Irish Gorilla able to take down Spoilty, and we've got ourselves a game here. Mantis going to come around and finish off Snooperfax to get rid of that communication, and Norse is going to find Tao Kao in the corner. Is he going to go for the cap in the building? He does have tab out.
Irish Gorilla is not aware of that cap. He's trapped by Mantis. Bullets are coming out on all sides. Gorilla does take down Mantis, however. Is Norse going to be able to pull out the cap? Irish Gorilla needs to be rotated.
He does. He gets it.
Wow.
And there
goes to the Vikings. What a game. What a map.
Yes, it really was. Well, what a map, I should say, for Vikings. They're going to pick up 2 more points and take the first map 5-0 against the Great Apes. And I just realized that I've been giving those points to the wrong team whole time. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get that fixed now. Then we'll head back to the war room, finding out where our second map is going. And it looks like for map number 2, we're going to stay on the close quartered and take it to Suburbia.
Suburbia, one of my favorite maps. One of the first maps I ever played in Onward as well. Special place in my heart for this map.
And this one being the away team's map, will be their choice.
All right, what do you think is going to be happening on this map? Suburbia I've always found to be a sort of a 50-50, you know, could go either way. What do you think is going to be coming out of these teams on this map?
I think we're gonna see the Great Apes continue to play a bit more reserved. I think it has affected them on their strength and their morale. I do think it's taking a hit, but I'm not really too sure. I mean, it's just such a mystery having this team that I know really nothing about.
I think that you know, if anything, this game is showing us that we need to learn more. The Vikings put up a pretty great fight. I mean, yes, they're fighting against a team that is a member down, but their coordination, the way they move through the map, the communication between them has been strong throughout. I would venture to say they may even have deserved this win, even if the Great Apes did have their 5th member available. They've been playing very, very well. While we wait for these teams to kick off, I do want to thank again everybody in the Twitch chat for hanging out with us. Me and Sleepy bringing you this second map of the first game of the Button Cup between the Great Apes and the Vikings. We had a bit of a rocky start, but I'm glad we're underway now, and hopefully won't be seeing too long of a delay before we get into the action here on Suburbia.
Wonder if we'll see any shield play from either teams here in Suburbia, as with it being a close quarters map, does tend to lend more advantage to that. Though we have seen one of your guys, Naoko, using that shield on downfall, and that seemed to be working out pretty well. I mean, that crazy kooky play where he put it up against the window against boss fight and kind of trapped the guy in the room and threw a frag. That was pretty clear. That was pretty classic.
Oh, that's one of our favorite plays, and yeah, definitely Naoko and Birds, our two strongest players, love using that shield. We are going to see it come out from the Great Apes. Tao Kao is wielding the shield, so hopefully we'll see some crazy plays from him as well. Add him to the highlight reel of shield plays. And
Sounds like
now
maybe
well
the Great Ape.
into round 1 of map 2.
That up on the screen for you. Thank you for calling that out. I would have left the scoreboard overlay off.
That's what I'm here for. Tech support and talking for 30 minutes straight. And we're going to see what I think is pretty common on this objective, which, by the way, is the burning building objective in the southeast. A lot of smokes coming out, some being thrown from the defensive side as well, which is a little odd, but...
Some of them may be those smokes being rethrown from the attackers as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The grenade lines do change colored trails.
You tricked me, casting software. You tricked me.
Yeah, see, we're gonna trick Mr. Noman here. Fluffy Gecko's gonna hear Snooperfax, but he's gonna get roasted by Irish Gorilla first. Snooperfax and Tao Kao near the objective. Tao Kao's got his shield. Should play to his advantage if he can hold it still. Snooperfax able to pick up Mantis on the rotation. Now they just need to take down Norse and they can get the cap. Oh no, but Snooperfax goes out too quickly. The frag is going to come up.
Frag is coming out. What a great frag.
But it's going to kill Spoilty instead!
Oh, what a crazy grenade throw. It pans out in the end for them anyway, but unfortunate that he was picking up a teammate at the same time as he downs that shield.
Wow, that was incredible. Vikings win there by the skin of their teeth. I thought Tao Kao and Snooperfax had it. It was a great matchup. They were prepared well. Snooper able to get that kill on the guy on the porch. It should have just been a walk-up for them, but he's flanked out too far. The guy on the tank was able to see him and take him down, so...
Yeah, and it just goes to show how a lot of this game, you know, there's definitely something to be said for skill, for communication, coordination. But honestly, a lot of the times it's just timing. Sometimes you put your gun down at just the wrong moment, and somebody peeks a corner you didn't expect, and the tides turn against you. So I think we saw a little bit of that there. Snooper was playing great with Tao Kao on that shield. They were able to get a couple of picks there, but yeah, the timing was not with them in that first round, so unfortunate, but hopefully the Great Apes rally on defense here and are able to hold back the Vikings push. Interested to see if the Vikings also decide to bring the shield and how they work with it.
Yeah, now it seems we're in a bit of a switched scenario. The Great Apes now having 5 members and Vikings short on their 5th. Wondering if Vikings agreed to play them 4v4 and then Tyler showed up and now they're roping their 5th back in, or maybe...
Oh, that would be a great show of solidarity. That's the kind of stuff I love to see in the league is, you know, hey, you're down a man, no problem. We'll play you guys on an even playing field. That's the kind of stuff I want to see more and more often in the league. You know, we are competitors, but at the end of the day, we play a game we love, and it would be great to see that kind of camaraderie across teams.
Absolutely, that kind of passion, exactly what we like to see, and we can definitely see now why Blaze streaking their way up the leaderboard. That kind of passion, that kind of understanding of the game and of the human condition behind it, the thrill of the friendships and the communications and the connections that you make with these people from around the world. Just awesome, and VR really helps give us that on a more tangible level. Like, you really just feel like you're there in a room with a guy who may be in Australia, for example. On the Great Apes side, they have a man from Australia on their team, and that connection that you feel from so far away within your living room or your office or wherever you happen to have your play space set up. It's a great feeling. So a lot of times meeting these people in real life, it's almost quite natural feeling. As long as you don't call them by their real name.
Oh, no, definitely not. No, I don't want anyone to know my real name.
Don't forget to use frags.
But we are going to get into round 2 of map 2 here with Great Apes on defense. Finally showing that 5-man squad. We are going to see 5-on-5 for the first time. Some early pre-fire shots coming out. Looks like from Red Car. Spoiled Beast taking some bullets. Mantis and Tyler trading through the bushes in lane 4 very quickly. Both taking a pretty aggressive position there. And we're down to a 4v4.
Yeah, both teams losing one. Great Apes, 5th man, coming in at the 11th hour. I think any later into the match, and it wouldn't have mattered if they had their 5th or not. So now we could see the Great Apes doing something here on Suburbia against Vikings. Norse going to grab Irish Gorilla, though, on the eastern side.
Yeah, Gorilla getting a little bit more aggressive than you probably see on that lane. Everybody knows that the bushes are see-through in most cases, and a lot of people do like to watch and wait for those aggressive pushes, both on Marsoc and on Volk sides. So not too surprising to see him get picked up there and getting us into this 3v4.
Now I'm interested to see how Snooperfax over on the Great Ape side up in that back Volk spawn house, 2nd floor, how that's going to work out for him here. It worked out for him pretty well the other day in the game against Gravity, but these guys, these European guys, seem like they know where to train their sights when they come around a corner for the first time. So we'll have to see how that works out for good old Snooperfax here in the back house.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be getting tested here pretty soon. There's going to be some pushes in through lane 3, a little bit of bullets coming out. As I say that, in that same lane, they don't find any purchase, however.
Strong on objective defense from the Great Apes. What they have covering the objective, and Vikings going to have to work pretty hard as long as Snooper can manage to even the playing field, maybe take out Norse to stop the flank from coming up around from behind Purple Highway and Tau.
Yeah, they're likely not going to be expecting it if he does make it through. It's definitely up to Snooper to shut that down. And we're starting to see the noose tighten a little bit on Marsoc. You can see the nice little even half moon that they've got around the objective.
A beautiful smoke onto the objective. It literally hits the corner of the house and drops right at the bottom of the porch. Now Purple's down from a grenade from E-Tax. Going to remain downtown, not going to risk it to push out, which may be a smart call. Here's the noose, as you said, Titans from Marsoc.
Yeah, and Purple Highway is still going to be very beneficial for his teammates. He's going to be making those call-outs. He's difficult to double tap where he is. But Norse finds Tau Cow in the burning porch. And it's looking pretty dire here for the Great Apes. Snooper is going to need to really put some work in to stop this cap.
And here it comes now. The cap's coming out. Snooper is going to realize that he's too far away. And luckily for him, that he was eliminated instead of taking the cap loss, because Vikings were on their way.
That could not have been more lucky and unlucky for the Vikings. That's one of those things that teams have to practice is communication. I'm going for the cap. Don't kill the last guy if you don't have to. And that was one of those golden scenarios where it would have been absolutely fine to sit behind a wall and just wait for your teammate to cap it. There was no way Snooper was going to stop that cap from upstairs.
Yeah, very little cover for Snooper to have been able to use, and very few sight lines for him to be able to keep exchanging fire and putting fire on the position as he moved towards it. So yeah, absolutely one of those classic do not shoot scenarios. In fact, sometimes it's got to happen. Like there's no way to really keep him from killing you on the objective without killing him,
Right.
But then there's other times like that one where the defender who's having to rush back to the objective does not have the proper sight lines and the right conditions in order to make him a threat to you in your cap.
Definitely, yeah. It's something that, like I said, it takes a lot of practice, takes a lot of battlefield awareness, and trusting your teammates to be able to pull off. And I'm sure the Vikings aren't too upset. They got their round win, and we're gonna see the objective change now to center house here in the middle of this map. This objective lends itself to some pretty crazy aggressive plays sometimes, and I'm excited to see what these teams pull out for this objective in round 3.
That's right, here we go. Round number 3. If you're just tuning in with us, this is a Button Cup match, so this is a cross-Atlantic, transatlantic bout between US and EU. There will be more of these games to come in the next 2 weeks. This is just the first one. You're here with Sleepy and Noman as we cover today's game. First map has already been finished 5-0. Vikings taking it clearly. Great Apes going down 2-0 here on the second map, but they now have their 5th man, and we are going to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing a pretty standard defense. Couple of people, actually, I think one person upstairs, 2 downstairs in that center house watching the different points of ingress. One in the spawn watching that lane 3, and somebody in lane 2 looking to get a pick either through the bushes or just to hear somebody coming around that lane 1. That looks like they've got their bases covered, and let's see if the Great Apes find a way to get through that setup.
Snooperfax taking a look through the bushes, trying to find somebody. Trying to find him somebody.
I want to dance with somebody.
There's somebody who loves you.
Just let me know in the Twitch dance if you want to dance anytime.
Dancing with Noman, ladies and gentlemen, mainly ladies on the table.
Man, just able to down Snooperfax with a great air burst there in the garden.
Irish Gorilla able to take down Norse as well. He's being rotated on though. Mantis. Oh, and Irish isn't going to turn fast enough to see Mantis, and Mantis picks up another kill.
Yeah, Purple Highway trading their trading headshots actually, and downing the member of Volk in front of the house, leaving a bit of an opening for the remaining 2 Marsoc players. There is still a revive available, though not sure if we're going to be seeing that come out, as he is relatively close to where the objective is, and they may not want to give away their position like that.
Far so good. Each team trading out kind of 1-to-1 here. Vikings losing all. The Great Apes still have Snooperfax in order to be able to provide them with intel, but his info isn't going to prove very useful as the guys on Vikings are inside the center house, and Snooper should not be able to see that from his downed positioning.
Yeah, and hopefully they're not too loud on comms. It's very key in this objective to try to keep your exact position in the house a secret until the very last moment. It's it's not hard to guess where people are going to be when defending this objective for the most part. But the exact positioning is very important because of things like frag grenades and smoke positioning. So I don't think Snooper is going to be too effective for his team there.
Tyler, if he goes through this front door, he might be able to pick up Gecko there in the main living room who's laying prone. He should be able to see him as he kind of crosses towards the front door area, or he could just go around to the other side and check windows, as long as he does it slowly enough. If he doesn't, he's going to be heard by Gecko, and Gecko's going to take him down.
I think Tyler was waving to his teammate there, Taokao, from the carport, just saying hi. That's an interesting choice. I'm not sure I would expect to see Gecko in that position, and he's moving a little bit away from that hallway. That's definitely not a common spot for people to sit in, and it's looking like it might pay off for him here. We're going to see some kind of contact here. Tyler not looking in that direction. And the timing does not work out. Gecko does pick up Tyler as he moves around.
Great play from Gecko, but Tyler should have been able to counter that himself. Very unfortunate, and now Taokao left by himself to fight off 2 men in the center house, and they're locked in tight.
We got about a minute and a half left in this round. Taokao hopefully has some equipment to help him make inroads on this center building. He is calling to his teammates that are not alive. So Paul Way said he does check his tablet and find out that there is no one to hear those call outs. And he should be moving in here as we get into the last minute of round 3.
Time management, not so bad. Again, this could be one of the maps, or I believe it is one of the maps that will have a shortened timer on it. But he's made good use of his time. He's still got a minute left, so he's still got time to work with to get into this upper objective. And realistically, if he can take down Gecko, he can go up those stairs and get the pick on Mantis, but he's not going to see Gecko. Gecko's going to stand up. Hopefully should see him in the window. He does. He's trained.
I see him already.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, and that's a fortunate route to take. I'm surprised Gecko took that long.
Oh.
Cao Cao does manage to get the revenge kill at the end there, but it does not give them the round. And the Vikings will take Suburbia to 3-0. Did you expect this, Sleepy? Is this what you were thinking was going to happen?
No, but again, you know, I really couldn't give us a good idea because I didn't know much about the Vikings and their play style and how they play. So, but I mean, they're playing very well. I mean, even now that the the player base is matched on each side, 5-5, they're still managing to put up great numbers. However, the Great Apes are now putting up a much more effective fight to counter them. So, but Vikings doing well. It looks like they're on course to take the series here with this next point. And while that is unfortunate for the Great Apes as well as the U.S. in this Button Cup, it's still been a pretty decent match. And I give it to the Great Apes for fighting 4v4. However, you guys should probably, you know, make sure everything's good to go in advance. Then again, when updates drop middle of the match week, it is typically kind of hard to decide. Do we play on new build? Do we play on old build?
Yeah. Or, you know, when your headset decides to update right at the beginning of a cast.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Leaving your brand new Virgin Cocaster into the limelight with his 30 minutes self-talking. But you know, it's only gonna improve things. And a big welcome to you, and a big welcome to all the other newer members in the casting community, helping us to be able to start covering more of these matches for you guys. I know you guys have wanted it. Well, you're gonna get it. Now you're gonna have to listen to us whether you like it or not. So,
yeah, joke's on you.
Haha.
Now we're gonna narrate your dream.
We're just having some fun. We're having some fun over here.
All right, let's see how the Great Apes decide to tackle this objective. If they stay relatively tight and they keep their angles, I think they have a shot at least pulling this round out.
Absolutely.
From under the Vikings.
Yeah, I agree. Vikings getting some great positioning early on, but that's fine. That's kind of what the point of the Great Apes defense is. I'm a little concerned that it's stacked too heavily on the east side. I mean, everyone is on either that side of the house or that side outside of the house, with only one man kind of watching the western entrance into the building. So that concerns me a little bit, but we'll see. Maybe there's a rhyme for their reason.
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy. If I was Irish Gorilla there, I'd be a little frustrated with who's that Snooperfax for shooting over my head 1,000 times. Doesn't lend yourself to being able to hear the enemy movement. But he's hoping to try to get a pick through the bushes. Obviously, that's not going to work out because all of the members of MARSOC are staying low and staying quiet while they move up on this objective. Snooper is getting kind of close to Spoilty, but not likely because he knows he's there. Mostly just gets blind fire, and we're seeing a pretty aggressive push in here. Snooperfax downs Irish Gorilla as a team kill.
Tyler takes down Mantis, meanwhile, inside. Purple grabs Norse. Gecko's currently by himself in the center house. He doesn't have any backup inside just yet. Atax is trying to push in, but he's too worried knowing that his teammate just got taken down.
Gecko getting that very nice headshot on Snooper.
And very crucial headshot for them, as he's that reverse watch, so he would have definitely been able to take out Gecko as he moved through those lower windows.
Tyler here is going to learn a hard lesson about double tapping and making sure you're aware as the person he downs is then revived by Gecko. And we're seeing a pretty quick shift. It was a 3-2 with the Great Apes up, and now we're seeing the Vikings up 3-2 in just a matter of about 15 seconds. See a frag out on the objective. It's not going to find Taokao, who's watching that doorway like a hawk, or sorry, the stairway like a hawk. A perched hawk.
And now the three-man team getting ready to breach the top floor. Another frag comes out. They're not getting any kills, so they may be starting to think that this is clear. Nope, the flash is going to come up. Oh, nope, it is a frag as well. How many frags do these guys have?
They're just finding frags. They're pulling them out of thin air. Purple Highway finds Gecko on the outside.
And he does also able to pick up Spoilty as they trade. It's 1-1. Taokao, all he's got to do is now sit back. Granted, he does have to do that for 3 full minutes still. He's going to just have to sit back and wait for the enemy team to approach.
Yeah, definitely. And Suburbia is one of the maps that it's going to be round shortened as well to 4 minutes, and we won't have a whole lot of this long wait pretty soon, but we'll see what he's able to do, giving away his position. He's running up into that position. He's
done for.
Taokao, but he rushes him and manages to take him down and give Vikings the round and the map. Wow. What an aggressive push there, and a great way to end that round for the Vikings.
Yeah, that unfortunately will end the series for the Great Apes, but as this does still affect our MMR, they will play out the third map, obviously, and they will decide how badly that gap will spread or be gained.
Yeah, the Great Apes definitely need to stop the bleeding here. I mean, currently they're sitting at a 9-0 loss. I mean, you need to put some points on the board because because the MMR was close when they started, they're not likely to lose a whole lot, but you do what you can. Try to get at least a couple of points on the board and save a little bit of face there. Lick your wounds, as it were.
Yeah, lick them good, because 9-0 is not looking so hot right now for the Great Apes. The Vikings playing a pretty amazing game so far. I got to admit, this is going to be another team to watch out for in the climbing through the ranks in the international side. But meanwhile, while we load into the next map, we're going to go ahead and let you know what that map is, and it looks to be that we are going to be on Bazaar. So another great map. It's going to lend to a different style of play here than we've seen thus far with the smaller maps. So really excited to see this one come up. And while we wait for them to load in and to get ready, we'll go ahead and throw you guys into an intro as to what Bazaar really is.
My bad.
Like our first objective is going to be in the eastern courtyard.
This is a fun objective. This one's always very dependent. Sock spawn, and do they get the quick spawn and rush Kiat? Do they get the long spawn and do a long rotation around the south side? Definitely a lot of variations on this objective, and I'm excited to see how the Great Apes attack this one. If I'm remembering right, Great Apes definitely are a bit stronger on Bazaar than some of the other maps that I've seen them play on today. So I'm hoping to see some coordination and some strong pushes from them here to get them on the board, stop the bleeding, and give us something exciting to watch. Give us something fun. A lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Of course, these between round or between map timers not actually a part of the mid-round timing system where it is auto-timed, so we usually do have to wait a little bit longer. And as I say that, here we go. We're going to go back into our gameplay here and start up with round number 1 of map number 3, not map number 1.
No,
Fixed it.
definitely not.
Also, Raytherian, thank you for your subscription with Twitch Prime. We do greatly appreciate that over here at the VR Master League Casters desk and the VR Master League in general. Reminder to any others, if you do have Twitch Prime, you can subscribe to the channel for free using that Twitch Prime once a month. A lot of members in the community have done so, and some outside the community as well. So if you like us, follow us, subscribe to us. We're always putting out new content here, as we're always casting these games in the Onward VR Master League. Right now, we have the team names backwards. Also, by the way, Noma.
They must have switched. Let me fix that real quick.
So we already have some action. The Great Apes able to put out some suppression. There's a little bit of gunfire going on. Spoilty, though, from his position in the south. Wow, that's a super tight angle Spoilty was on. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and go back to check that out. That was... Wow, that was a great shot.
We've got the scoreboards all fixed up. Sorry about that.
All good. Thank you for correcting that, sir.
And we did get that aggressive Marsoc spawn that I was talking about, but aggressive is a relative term, as we are seeing the slow push from the Vikings on that north side. Norse and Etex both, doing a little centipede thing, a little creepy crawly thing to the bazaar right now. Mantis, meanwhile, pushing a little bit further ahead, trying to get a clear or a pick.
Spoilty utilizing his comms to let his team know that he's gotten 2 of his own. So they are now aware that there's only 3 defenders left. They have 4 men left themselves, but they're all stacked up here in the 2nd floor objective building. I'm assuming we're going to be seeing some type of build-up to an attack, where they'll come in with smokes, probably a smoke going in over that stairwell there that Mantis is looking at. Maybe even a frag, and yes, here we go. The frag is out. Not gonna find anyone. Purple Highway's watching that northern alley.
He should be relatively close to Mantis and might be able to pick up his communication and know that he's there. If so, he has not yet called out to his team that I'm aware of that they're up there, but should be hearing that grenade come out as well. It looks like Marsoc's doing a little bit of misdirection as they throw the smokes and then start to move around to that north side. Irish Gorilla, though, getting that spidey sense and starting to move towards that north side. And we'll see if he's going to be able to pick up Etax and Norse as they make their push. And Mantis. Wow, this full Marsoc push.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he gets 1, but it's only a trade. Meanwhile, he goes down and out. Vikings still have 3 men here in the north and are about to come in pretty heavy. They've got this smoke to cover them. It's going to be very, very difficult for Purple Highway to see them. But Norse going to take out Spoilty. That's a game changer. Purple Highway going to peek up the alley or tuck himself into the corner, but I don't think he's going to see. Mantis crawling up. Yes, he will. The arm's going to come out. Oh, no, Purple shoots. Mantis is able to take him down. That is a terrible turn of events. Taocow returns the favor, and now it's just a 1v1 versus Etax and Taocow over in the blue room.
Taocow, unfortunately, double tapping his teammate as well as finishing that kill, and see there, Etax is able to catch him on the rotation as he as well rotates, and that round goes to the Vikings. What a very exciting round that was, though. So many interesting picks and rotations. Really good stuff from the Vikings there on that Marsoc push.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think overall today they've shown really great team play, and it's worked. I mean, granted, at first they were attacking a man-down squad, but they got their man back only 1 round into the 2nd map, and they're still taking it to them. So, good kudos to the Vikings. They're playing well. I'm not quite sure the Great Apes are quite as in sync as I saw them earlier on this week when they got 3 caps against Gravity.
3 caps, wow. Those games are always super fun and exciting to watch. Gotta love when people get those crazy caps on very stressful situations. If you've ever been in that situation, you know what it's like to try to cap while your hands are shaking and smoke's going off, frag's going off. 3 caps is pretty impressive for any team to put up, and good on them for having that kind of a performance. But yeah, the Vikings definitely pulling away here, really pulling away with this series.
They are doing a fantastic job. And speaking of the Button Cup, we do have the Button UK himself here in the Twitch audience, so kudos to you for having this international tourney of sorts named after you. But I know a lot of people think this will settle the no-low gate scenario. I don't think that will ever be solved. I think that will be a constant problem as teams in both regions continue to improve and fight it out for their chance to participate in any future LAN events that may be happening, or just to compete for any of the prizes that come from the partners like VR Cover and ProTube. So the competition really been heating up, and I really just don't think you can say that US is better than EU or the skill's not there on both. It's a different skill set, one, and it's always improving. So the second that we reach our peak performance and cannot improve anymore, which is pretty much impossible, there'll be no end to the debate. It will forever remain a hot topic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's, when has anything ever been solved by, one event? I can't imagine that happening here. So we did see mirrored spawns for Marsoc and Volk, but you can see the difference in approaches here as the Great Apes have decided to take a long route with 2 members going into the far southeast while 3 push up through the market. Purple Highway manages to get a headshot on Mantis in his position there all the way back in the east courtyard, and we're in a 4v5 situation already. Some grenades coming out on Irish Gorilla's side, not finding any purchase. We should be seeing some action here shortly as Etax moves up on his position. Irish Gorilla is now ready, doesn't have his gun out right now. And that does indeed go the wrong way.
Tyler and Purple able to pick up the refrags. Meanwhile, in the east, Snooperfax and Talcow are making a hot push. They've already made it up to the tank. They have closed in very tight, good real estate very quickly. Vikings, man, if Snooperfax or Talcow, who's trailing up behind him, can manage to pick Norse, they'll have the eastern side open, and they can really just come in from both sides and keep that defense from doing too much as they attack the objective.
Yeah, it's all just going to be about that coordination, moving up together. You don't want to move single file into an objective like this just because there's so many angles to cover. You want to be able to get that refrag as quick as possible if you're not in a position to cover your teammate. I see Purple Highway throwing out.
Oh, Snooper!
Ooh, that grenade from Purple Highway downs Gecko in the objective room.
Snooperfax in north, now in a gunfight.
A grenade coming out towards Norse, and it does down him and takes him out as well. Insta-kill there. And Etax looking to get the pickup on Gecko. He does get it. Purple Highway and Tyler both very close to the objective. Making a little bit of noise, but
those eastern attackers are going to prove very useful. However, Fluffy Gecko's going to pick up Snooperfax, and I believe
Purple Highway and Gecko are right next to each other, and it takes them both. It takes Gecko at least a minute to figure out that someone's in front of him that's not friendly, and does manage to pick up Purple Highway as he walks into that door frame. Unawares, caught unawares. And we're in a 2v2 situation now on the second round. Tooth and nail, Sleepy, tooth and nail. This is all very, very rough for these two teams. It's a great matchup to watch, though, and a great smoke coming out there onto the objective from Talcow, blinding Gecko, forcing him to move. And he says, you know what?
You take it.
I don't want it. Yeah, I don't want it. You keep it. And great awareness there by Gecko. That's the kind of stuff you love to see, too. You know, I don't want to be disadvantaged. I'm not just gonna sit here and watch your smoke.
Yeah, exactly. In previous, before, you know, update, what was it, 1.2 or 1.3, where you could finally pick up something again.
Oh, that flash does not work out. Tyler's not aggressive enough to pick it up, but Tyler manages to down Gecko with a grenade before Etex is able to pick him up. And Etex should be able to get the revive. If Taokao peeks right now, he could get both. And he gives his position away. Does manage to get Etex, however. And we're down to a 1v1 and a minute and a half left in this second round.
And Taokao's going to be quite disadvantaged here on this approach, as Pink Fluffy Gecko is rocking a rather tight angle, but effective for Taokao's positioning. Tao's either going to have to push up towards the buildings where Gecko is, thereby negating his tight angle, or he's just going to have to be sharp on his feet. Comes out from behind these cement bags.
Taokao's especially disadvantaged, as you may be able to hear his microphone picking up his breathing a little bit, which is broadcast in proximity to other players. Could give his position away when he does not want it to. It's definitely something players need to be aware of when they're in these league matches. Every disadvantage is a huge blow when it comes down to the wire like this.
I'm gonna need to slow his steps up here a little bit. On the player, some people have superhuman ears like Pants.
Oh, Pants.
I'll hear you forever. Taokao looking right at Gecko. But then again, it's
not able to see him just yet. Bullets
he's using
coming out
the
from
bodies.
Gecko,
But Taokao with the nice refrag, and he ends the round, and Great Apes get their first point of the day on the board, thanks to this man. Congratulations, Taokao.
Great job, Taokao. Great job on pickup. Good rotation. That's what we wanted to see, and the Great Apes are on the board. Good stuff. Finally able to hit that +1 on the home team side, and hopefully they'll be able to rally on that and take this map back from the Vikings and show them that they didn't just come here to get capped on and get shot at. They're here to win. They're gonna take a round.
That's right. And if you're tuning in a little late with us, you can see here the score of the series so far. Cargo was 5-0 in favor of Vikings. Suburbia 4-0. Bazaar, though, the Great Apes able to finally pick up their point here and tie it here on Bazaar for 1-1.
Yeah, now we're going to see in the third round, as usual, see a rotation of the objective, and we're going to be in the Little Market objective. I think that's what it's called. I don't know everybody's call-outs for it, but
it's okay. You'll never call it the right thing if you're casting Noman. I just want you to understand that. Just call it whatever you've heard or felt comfortable with.
That lends me to making up names for things, and that's going to be dangerous. I'm going to start making up some silly names for these objectives as these guests go on. But I do love this objective. I love defending it. I know not a lot of people will agree with me there, but it's literally 360-degree defense you need to have because it can be approached from pretty much any angle. And it lends itself to a lot of equipment usage and a lot of exciting plays, and I'm hoping we get to see one here as the Vikings try to take this third round, and the Great Apes try desperately to deny them and stay on this board and try to take this third map of the series.
Well, they'll have a good shot at getting another point as they do go to defense now. They won a very crucial, in fact, Marsoc round. So now they can just, if they can hold this defensive round, they'll take the advantage of the defensive start away from Vikings. Wait, Vikings didn't start on defense, did both teams got a Marsoc win to start it off?
Yeah, that is correct. And we're seeing a pretty aggressive Vikings push here. They've gotten as much real estate as possible. Snooper looking to pick up Gecko after hearing his footsteps. He does make that call out to his team. Surprised Gecko's actually going to try to re-peek that window. Usually when you're found out like that, you want to rotate, you want to move around, keep the defense guessing.
Spoilty going to slide their way through the alley. Spoilty looks away at just the wrong time. He actually could have seen Snooperfax as he pushed towards the north side of the western alleys. Shame. Break.
Timing is, it can be a real problem. It can be a real problem in this game, and there's not a lot you can do to control it. Obviously, we have the bird's eye view of this, and we can see all those little things. But
Don't you
when you're
mean
down
the
there,
bird's
the
eye
bird-
view?
Don't give him that kind of credit. He doesn't need it. His ego's big enough as it is. But yeah, we are not able to when we're in the games, have that kind of awareness. So, not shocking that he missed him. And Mantis managing to pick up Irish Gorilla in a very common spot there. It was a little bit further out than I would have expected him to be. Oh, I suppose he might have jumped out of that corner. He picks him up.
Gecko's gonna snag Snooperfax. That is not good for this Great Apes team as Vikings push up to the objective. They have gotten a lot of ground very quickly, and now the strike begins. Some smokes coming out to mass, some frags to take down the defenders. Purple Highway's got plans of his own with a frag, but it's just not far enough. Tyler and Spoilty trade on the opposite side of the street. And that'll conclude our action for the time being, but it's getting close. The attack is coming, I feel it.
Spoilty does double tap Tyler there, so the callouts can't come out. And the proverbial noose is tightening again. Norris taking down Tau Cow in that northwest building. E-Tech's picking up Purple Highway as well on the objective. And the Vikings take the round. Although Mantis very upset that he wasn't able to cap that. Understandably so. But a round win is a round win, nonetheless.
Right, you got it.
And we're seeing a lot of Marsoc win trades here. It's a little surprising to me on Bazaar. Bazaar, I've always found to be heavily defense favored in most cases. A lot of tight angles and a lot of long shots you can make as Marsoc tries to cross and gain their ground to get their positions. But both teams doing a really great job on Marsoc, picking up these wins and keeping the series as close as possible.
Yeah, I mean, even for the score being spread the way it looks on our scoreboards there with the 10-1 or now 11-1, I guess. It has been a lot closer than that. The rounds have had some tight rounds. Of course, yes, there have been some that were drawn out because a guy was left standing 1v5 pretty early on in a round. But there have been other rounds where it's come down to 1v1s with very tight time frames. And so, it's the one thing about this game that I don't think quite suits it so well is the scoring, because sometimes these really close games will end up being a lot, or these really blowout looking games will be a lot closer individual round wise than in the total series.
Yeah, definitely. It's hard to judge. You almost want to give people 3/4 of a point or half a point for the way that they're able to clean up rounds. Or maybe just one member of a team taking down, 4 offenders before the 5th one takes him out for the round win. And that kind of stuff's not accounted for. And, unless you watch the cast, the scores are rarely representative of that kind of an action. So definitely always room for improvement when it comes to that.
Yep, even at the top, you just can't stop.
Is that a song lyric? I feel like I don't know that song lyric.
I don't know, it felt more like the Pringles jingle. Once you pop, the fun don't stop.
Yeah, there we go. I knew it was something. I guess that's kind of a song. And we're going to be hearing the song of some gunfire here soon as the Great Apes push through the Bazaar towards the objective. We're seeing a very similar push on Marsoc as we did on the Vikings side last round. But the Vikings with a lot more of a reserve defense, which, again, should not come as a surprise after having watched the last 2 maps. They are very tight and disciplined when it comes to this defense. So let's see what the Great Apes can do here.
Great Apes playing very, very much in American fashion here. They've pushed up rather quickly. They've started their attack rather early. In this case, I'm not so sure it's going to work out because their push has not yielded any picks yet, and this is going to be a tight objective for them to fight.
Yeah, definitely, and they're also a member down, so to speak, as Taokao is battling, I believe that is Mantis in the north from the far corner, while his team is pushed up on the objective, and Great Apes do lose one across the street from the objective there. Oh, and I've got a camera glitch. I love those. There we go. Taokao looking to catch Mantis out, but Mantis is just going to sit there and say, nope, you come to me. I'm not going to catch your bullets on purpose. You got somewhere to be, I don't.
The Irish Gorilla and EdTax exchange fire and exchange lives in the western alleys as we sit here on board with Taokao as he fights against... And he's up against
Mantis.
Here?
That's Mantis over there, yeah. Now we're seeing some grenades come out from Snooper into Gecko's position. It seems like he knows, but Gecko is going to be watching the window for his rotation, and he does manage to pick up Snooper facts.
Mantis able to take down Taokao in the west, so now it's going to be all up to Tyler on the Great Apes. Fight off this 1v4 with a very effective defense.
Some team shots coming out, I think, from Norse onto Gecko's position. Not sure what that was. A lot of bullets into that room. Need to stay on those comms, guy. Gecko likely able to hear Tyler here as he's a little bit too fast on his crouch walk. No call-outs come out yet.
Tyler, if he were smart, would not go through that entrance because Norris is so concerned with his teammate being there that he's definitely going to kill you, and the peek's going to come out, the trade's going to come, but it doesn't matter because the Vikings have more players on the field, and they do take the round. It's now 3-1 Vikings.
Yeah, and that's a shame. We broke the streak of Marsoc wins there. I think having Taokao battling that north fight with Mantis may not have been the best use of his time. A rotation there and coming back to help his team out on that bizarre push may have been more beneficial. But you know, who knows? That's just conjecture on my part.
And of course, it's easier for us to ask these questions about why or what happened in these rounds as we have that bird's eye view that we've mentioned before, and it is, you know, a lot different once you're in the player's point of view, the player's perspective on what's happening.
Yeah, definitely something difficult to shake, that spectator bias.
Yes.
But we'll do our best. Call us out, you know. Let us know in the chat if we're being unreasonable. I am paying attention to that, and I do appreciate you guys while we're in between these rounds. Just want to send another shout out to you guys for hanging out with me and Sleepy. This has been a lot of fun so far. Hope you guys have had a lot of fun watching this too. In this, the first game of the Button Cup.
The Button Cup.
Yeah, we need to have a good maybe a theme song or a motto or something. I feel like there's something that needs to play before these matches.
Button Cup, Button Cup. Who's the best in the West? Button Cup.
There it is, folks. Clip that, and we'll just play that before every game for the next couple of weeks. Sleepy lending his silky smooth voice.
Yeah, come on over, baby. We're gonna watch us some VR Master League. Turn down the fire, turn on some Bobby Vandross. Make it smooth as we cruise down Kill Street with the Marsoc clan.
That is exactly what we're going to do, and we're going to see these smokes coming out, giving away a position on this center-south objective, the blue room objective, as we call it.
First smoke, rather ineffective. It works for the corner, but it's not helping them much in the cross. Purple Highway was able to pick up a downing in the first part of the round. Now he's able to get a second one. The attack in the center seems to be a little out of sync with the guys in the east. Purple Highway already finding them. So obviously they're pushed out way too much. Tao takes down one of the guys in the east now.
That's an interesting position by Taka. I don't see that very often in the matches I've been in. Able to pick him up as he rotates through that courtyard. Tyler and Snoop very quickly able to finish that round for the Great Apes.
Well, where has this Great Apes team been? This is the team we've been needing to play all day. I mean, that was a fantastic round for the Great Apes there. The defense just... The defense rests, Your Honor.
Objection.
Overruled. The defense rests.
There's way more to cast here. You're not allowed to object. It's in the rules. You can't do it. Yeah, no, that was an amazing communication round. They had great awareness there. They're definitely waking up here in this last round. Maybe they literally had just woken up when the game had started, and you know, after a cup of coffee, they're getting into this round 3 the way it was meant to be. And we're getting a little bit closer here with the score being 3-2 as we're gonna get into the 6th round here pretty soon. Whew. This is the kind of stuff I was hoping to see. You know, this on Cargo would have been very exciting. I mean, not that it wasn't, but this back and forth is what we live for. You know, it's what we love about this game and watching it and playing it.
I mean, that's why I got out of bed this morning. I don't know about you, Noman.
Yeah, that and having to go to the bathroom. I mean, it's 50-50, but...
See, folks, we're just as exciting as natural body necessities.
Yeah, 51-49. I'll give you 51-49, Sleepy, Onward being the reason.
That's right. See, we are more important than your natural body functions. Ladies and gentlemen, VR Master League for president.
Yeah, I can get behind that. And we are going to kick off round 6 here of the 3rd map. Vikings on defense, hoping to close this game out and shut down the Marsoc push.
I think they're hoping they're going to fly away. They've all got their arms held out at their sides like they're birds.
Yeah, Mantis almost taking flight there, I think. Maybe that's just a graphical glitch, but no gliders in Onward yet. We're going to see some early bullets coming out from Volk trying to catch that cross. It does not work. Loyalty pushing very strongly across the street. E-Tex picking up Tyler in that northwest courtyard.
Yes, Foyalty's in a really good position here. He's been able to essentially get behind the defense. He's going to see Purple running out in the middle of the street, and he gets the kill there. The Great Apes attack has now been dwindled even more. They're going to have 3-on-5 as Vikings go for their last point in this total series. So Great Apes going to have to come up with something here and get those picks, because now it's up to 3 to get it done.
Definitely still possible. This objective is very susceptible to caps. One of the most frequently capped ones outside of the Kiat Center North objective. But yeah, we'll see what the...
You have that data, don't you? That's not just a guess for you, is it? That's...
I pay a lot of attention in games. Yeah, it's useless information, but it's information nonetheless. That's why I wanted to be a caster, Sleepy. I got so much to share with you guys.
Well, I agree. I think your mind works a lot like mine in this game, and I appreciate having that in the co-caster's chair and just in a casting chair in general. Hopefully, we'll get you all squared away to where you're hosting these by yourself, because you seem to have what it takes there. Mantis is going to take down Irish Gorilla. E-Tax is going to take out Snooperfax, and Purple drops as well. It's now up to one man, the Tao Cow.
The one-man machine. He's been left alone too many times. He's grizzled from war. I think he's he's gonna Duke Nukem this. He's just gonna run in there with his machine gun and take them all out. Got a good feeling about it.
He is one of the more embattled pieces of livestock that we have here on the VRML farm. Sorry, Tal, you can't go that way.
That's alright, I would have made the same mistake, Tao, don't worry. I still don't know every corridor of these maps. I've been playing for God knows how many hundreds of hours at this point.
I agree. I would have also done the same thing, except hell, I might have even pre-fired it.
Yeah, Taoko singing to himself, having a good time. That's what I like to see from players in this game. You know, his team's down a little bit. They've already lost the series, and they're not looking great on this game, but he's having a good time, and you know, it's a game at the end of the day. It's important. He is found out, though, from Mantis. What awareness on Mantis that is.
He doesn't even care. He's still singing.
Good on him. You know, if you're not having fun, don't do it. That's what's important. But Mantis's awareness of Taokao's position, I gotta say, I am shocked. And Mantis has rotated after taking those shots, and now, like the praying Mantis itself, waiting to strike on an unsuspecting opponent.
Snatch it up in his claws. Suck its bodily juices out.
That's right. That's right. And Taokao's got about 2 minutes to work with here, which is not that bad of time, but when you consider the fact that there are still 5 members of the Volk team alive and on the objective, the task definitely is a little bit heavy. Feels a little bit heavy at this point.
Silence falls upon the battlefield as Taokao beatboxes his way into Mantis's arms.
Mantis getting that Mantis sense that Taokao is somewhere in that area. He is looking in that direction, not quite seeing him, I don't think.
I don't think so either. I think he looked away just at the right time as Taokao originally poked his head through those blocks. But now Taokao's going to be out in the open here. Will Mantis hear him, or will Taokao have the foresight to keep it moving very slowly? He only has 1:21 left, so he doesn't have a whole lot of time, but he's got enough to work with.
He's got to move slowly and breathe slowly.
Yeah, he is still coming through over his mic. Mantis definitely hearing that already, I think. He does, and the Vikings pick it up, taking the final round.
Oh, it's a shame. You would expect his teammates to let him know he's breathing like that. That's what your team's there for. But yeah, it does lend to Mantis' advantage, and they do clean that round up and take the final map 4-2. Whew. Good stuff.
Yeah, overall great map. Vikings playing very, very well there. Final score gonna come down 5-0 on Cargo, 4-0 on Suburbia, and 4-2 on Bazaar. So Vikings gonna take this, our very first game of the Button Cup, the EU versus US community event that we're hosting. Hopefully now on a seasonal or at least close basis to one another. But yeah, Vikings kind of taking that first one handedly for the EU. How did you think of today's game there, Noman?
I was a little bit surprised. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit closer. I think the morale issue in the beginning and the late start got to the Great Apes. I think they didn't have enough time to warm up. We finally started seeing them in their groove. Actually, in Suburbia, I wouldn't even say Bazaar is where they started. They had some really great rounds in Suburbia, but not quite enough to be able to pull off the wins they needed. And yeah, like you said, Vikings playing a really strong game. Definitely a team I'm going to have to keep my eyes on, so the next time I cast them, I can tell you a little bit more. Yeah, really, really good stuff. Really great game played by both sides, and good on the Vikings for taking the series in this first match.
Agreed. All right, well, that's going to do it for us here on today's game, the Vikings versus the Great Apes. I want to thank my co-caster, Noman, for filling in when my headset decided to do a full update right at the start of our cast. I think he's doing a great job and will be a great addition to our casting team. But also thank you to the viewers out there who turn in every day when we stream these weekly matchups. Because without you guys, of course, we don't have anything else to do except talk to each other about this behind closed doors. So we're glad we can share that with you. We're glad we can bring you the action. And I think that'll about wrap it up for us. Noman, you have anything else you'd like to say to the folks?
No, thanks guys for joining us. Thank you Twitch chat for being active and giving us your feedback. Keep doing that. I think we've got some games coming up this afternoon. I personally will be co-casting another game, I believe with Nightfire. It'll be Ember and SMC. So if you're interested in that, please tune in. I can't wait to do that. That game's gonna be very exciting. Yeah, and I hope to see you guys a whole lot in the future. And I appreciate Sleepy you having me here and walking me through the ropes. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it was my pleasure, and it was my pleasure having the viewers here, but that's going to do it for us today. You guys stay tuned to the channel for later matches, as my good man Noman said, and take care and have a nice day, everybody. Peace.